John was an experienced astronaut who spent many years preparing for his first solo flight into space. He was a man who loved challenges, and the thrill of space exploration was one of the biggest challenges he had ever faced. He had been training tirelessly for months, honing every maneuver and learning every detail of the mission. But despite all his preparations, something went terribly wrong. It was a routine mission, or so he thought. Everything went smoothly until the engines of his spaceship failed, sending him into the vast expanses of space. John's heart raced as he watched his spaceship disappear into the distance, leaving him alone and helpless in the void. For several hours he drifted. His oxygen supply was running out, and his body was slowly exhausted from the cold and lack of air. Just when he thought all hope was lost, he saw a bright light in the distance. At first he thought it was a star, but as it got closer, he realized that it was some kind of portal. Without hesitation, John headed towards the light, hoping that it would lead him to a safe place. Passing through the portal, he experienced a strange sensation, as if his body was being torn apart and reassembled at the same time. When the sensation passed, he found himself standing on the threshold of his family. His spacesuit was gone, and his body was inexplicably unharmed. At first, John was overjoyed to be back on Earth. But as he approached the door, he felt a sense of unease come over him. He knew he shouldn't have been there, that something was wrong. And then he saw them, his wife and children, staring at him in shock and disbelief. John tried to explain what had happened, but his words came out unintelligible. His family looked at him like he was crazy, and then his wife slammed the door, leaving him alone and confused on the threshold. John spent the next few days wandering the streets, trying to make sense of what had happened to him. But the more he tried to explain, the more people looked at him with suspicion and fear. It was as if he was a ghost, a being from another world that had no place on Earth. In the end, John realized that he would never be able to return to his old life. He was thrown into space, lost and alone, and then unceremoniously dumped back to Earth like a discarded piece of space debris. He had seen things that no one else had seen, experienced things that no one else had experienced, and he knew that he would never be able to go back to the way things were before.